Let's get into it with Rebecca Rose Woodland, the New York trial attorney. We've got Tom Dupree with us, a former Deputy Assistant Attorney General. Andy McCarthy, also former Assistant Attorney General, Fox News contributor. Welcome to all. So, Andy, begin with you. First off, on this DOJ saying we will not prosecute Merrick Garland, and that there's a distinction between this branch going after officials within the Department of Justice. Just not going to happen. Move on. What do you think?
Well, it's not surprising. You know, we went 223 years, Neil, with no Attorney General of the United States being held in contempt or censured in that way. Now, 3, I think, of the last 5 Attorneys General have. So it's kind of been depleted as anything other than a partisan weapon in these very partisan times. It's not surprising that the Biden Justice Department would not prosecute Biden's Attorney General. But you know, we should be clear on what's going on here, and that is that Biden and Garland have made a political determination that they would be more harmed by the release of that tape than the political hit they're taking for stonewalling over it. But the position they're taking is a political position. It's not a legal one.
So what happens now? I mean, I'm thinking the position that they're in now, Tom Dupree, and obviously, you know, Congress is going to say, whoa, but then there's the brakes, right? Is this going to change? I mean, where do you go?
Yeah, well, I don't think it's going to change. Look, I mean, they're basically asking Merrick Garland to prosecute himself, which we pretty much all knew was going to be a non-starter. And I think the congressional leverage here, Neil, really just comes from the ability to put a spotlight on these issues. As Andy said, the administration clearly made a political judgment that it would rather take the contempt hit, or at least a contempt citation, or the public opprobrium of being an attorney general held in contempt, rather than turn over the material that Congress is demanding. So I think Congress's next move is just to ensure that they can't get away from the consequences of this decision, to keep the spotlight on the issue. They may call hearings. There may be other public statements from committee chairman, or other members of the House or the Senate really saying, look, you owe the American people this information. And if you're going to continue stonewalling, fair enough. You're not going to get prosecuted for it, but we're going to ensure that the public holds you to account.
All right, now, separately, and Rebecca, I want to explore this a little more with you. The Supreme Court has not yet ruled on this Trump immunity claim. And I'm just wondering how you think that will go, because it's been it's been sort of dragging its feet to hear a lot of Trump people put a lot of, prosecutors put it on this particular issue. How do you see it going?
Well, first of all, the delay certainly doesn't hurt President Trump, right? Former President Trump. The delay can only help because the stay remains in effect. It seems to be a trend that the Supreme Court may decide this on very narrow factual issues. The absolute immunity, presidents have enjoyed absolute immunity over the course of the existence of the United States for liability for any sort of official acts. Whether this will be considered official acts, what happened on January 6th, that will be the big question. The overall scope of immunity has to remain in place. Presidents cannot be subject to constant lawsuits and being derided and bogged down with that. So I think what we are going to see, I do think the president will be victorious with the Supreme Court, but I think most of the opinion will be specific as to very factually specific regarding what happened on January 6th.
So, Andy, if that is the case, let's say they do rule on this, but quite the opposite of what Rebecca was pointing out, it doesn't go the former president's way. At the very least, things have been delayed just waiting for this, right? So the idea that at least 2 of the cases involved here could get adjudicated before the election are next to nil, aren't they?
I don't think so, Neil. I think there's still a chance that the January 6th case goes to trial. Here's why. I think Trump's lawyer, John Sauer, at the oral argument gave a lot of ground, and he admitted that under questioning by both Justices Barrett and Kagan, that a number of the acts in the indictment were private acts that aren't amenable of an immunity claim. I think if Smith is willing when the case comes back in whatever form it comes back in, if he's willing to say, you know, look, I'm willing to leave the rest of my case on the cutting room floor, let's just go to trial on what they concede is private, that case could still get to trial.
Wow. All right. We'll watch very closely. Guys, thank you very much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.